Well. Welcome to Be So Light. This page is going to be, my channel is going to be going through some revamping because I just want to do something different. And new medicine has come in, and I'm really happy about it, and I can't wait to try it out. So, as soon as this is in place, I will be sharing it. But I'm also on a different platform, and I want to thank Lightstar for that. And because she's been putting together a lot of her things on different platforms, and she's doing her work and everything, and I love that. So it's the same with Kalina. They're all doing their work on different platforms. So I'm really happy I'm on a different platform where I can go and do things, and um, it has a higher frequency. It still has a little kinks in it here and there, but it has a higher frequency. I'm saying that for a reason. So anyway, let's get into this conversation, shall we? So I think it's very interesting that this morning I said this on my Instagram page that the moon at 5:54 was over here, shadow on top, red at the bottom, looking like a, I don't know, like a partial solar eclipse. Now, from my understanding, that's not supposed to be taking place until sometime on Tuesday or early Monday morning, like at 1:38 in the morning. I'm just wondering, why was that happening? Why was it in the east doing that? And the sun was coming up like on its butt, like 15, 20 minutes later. It was coming up, the sun, in the same place where the moon was. And I'm like, and the moon was just going up like this. So I was awakened. Spirit woke me up, said, "Get up, I want you to look at something." And I'm like, what? And I look. I can First of all, I couldn't believe how close the moon was. And the color of the red underneath. Hmm. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering what's happening. I'm just wondering. So yes, dreams. Oh my gosh, the dreams. Last night dream was I was sitting out at a park, and I was talking to someone, and I said, "Look, I don't have a lot of time because they're looking for me." And he says, "Who's looking for you?" I said, "I don't have time to get locked in on this timeline." That's what I said. I said, "Look, you got to get this together so we can get out of here because they're tracking me." He says, "Who's tracking you?" He says, "I don't understand." I said, "Look up." And there was this huge, like square, dark. You could see it because it was slightly cloudy, but it was dark. And then all of a sudden, like the clouds started moving. You could see it was a big ass mothership sitting up there. And I said, it's here. And he said, "Why?" I said, I gotta go. I gotta start jumping. I gotta jump. I got timelines to jump. And so I laughed and I was running, but I was being chased. I was being chased by this crazy ass woman who was trying to catch me and put me in some kind of containment. She was trying to catch me, and I wouldn't let her do it. I said, "Oh hell no, you're not putting me in anything. You're not containing me into anything." So I was running. I was running into these schools. I was running into these libraries. I was running into these offices, and then this one corridor, I went down. It was like I was peeking around the corner, and I was looking, and I was like, "She doesn't see me." Okay, so I start running down the hallway, and then she comes down. She goes, "There she goes." So I run into this like a locker room that had a oak door, and I ran in there and I closed the door real quick and I lock it. And there's this little child in there, and there was this like tile floor, and it was kind of wet, looked like people just took showers and stuff and whatever. But there was this child, but he looked like he was like 8 or 9 years old, young, and he was standing there and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Shh, I'm running. Someone's trying to catch me, but they won't catch me because I'm too fast." He says, "Oh, I've seen you before. Yeah, we call you the runner, the jumper." And I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, we know about you." And I said, "Oh," he goes, "Oh, hide here, hide here." And I go, "Okay," I got goosebumps after saying that. "Just hide here, hide here." And I'm like, "Okay, okay, I'm gonna hide." So I waited, and you could see her coming to the door. I see the shadow underneath the door, something like out a horror movie. I see shadow, and then I'm waiting for her to start pushing on the door, and she starts turning the doorknob, like trying to get in. She goes, "Open this door. I know you're in there. Open this door." And I stood up and I said, "You will not come through." And I put and put a sheet of light all across that door. And the young kid was standing there. He goes, "Whoa." And I go, "Yeah, I'm not to be messed with. That's how that rolls." So, and I go, "See you later, kid." I jump into a portal. I woke up this morning after dealing with the moon thing. I was so tired. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so exhausted." Being chased. I was just like running. But I go, "See you later, kid." Jumped into a portal and I took off. But I that lady, she was, you know what she reminded me of? She reminded me of that the artificial mom in the movie Caroline. Oh, Caroline, Caroline. My name is Caroline. So remind me of that artificial mom, the one that was the spider mom that had the linky legs and spider web stuff. Now, what's so weird, she looked like that woman with the black hair and the big black eyes, and she had on like this kind of like a checkered dress, and she was trying to get me, and she was just real tall, but she was like in human form of that instead of a animation. She was a human form of it. And I said, "Damn, you look like that mom in Caroline, Caroline," you know. So I was just like, she's chasing me. And she looked very spidery, and it was so weird. Before I popped on here, someone else was sending me a text about their dream of a black widow chasing them, or they were being chased by one. And I said, interesting. So watch out, people, because we are in Halloween time, and there is the lifting of bells, and there is a lot of like woo 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 and incantations and all this crap going on, dark energy going on right now, spell casting and people doing nasty things to other people because they never got the healing that they are supposed to be dealing with. And they're stuck on three because they're stuck in all their stuff because they don't know how to heal and release. Yeah, pretty much. They don't stand in their power, they don't stand in who they are. And the reading I did on Instagram was talking about blame game. Can't do the blame game. Do I still have a card? Oh, here it is. Blame game. And it says right here, it's time to take ownership of your life, of the life you are creating. There you go. It's nobody else's fault. Whatever's going on, you created it. So, yeah, it was crazy, crazy dream. But the fact that spaceship was like right above my head and I can see how big it was huge. I mean, oh man, it was huge. It was like, I think the only way I can describe it is maybe 5 football sizes. 5 football um, playing fields, 5 of those. So it was huge. It was big. It was, yeah, it was like a little bit of Prometheus going on there. So, but anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know that there will be some changes going on. I am not allowed to say what it is just yet, what's going to be taking place. Spirit has already told me because I asked, I would like to do something that's really beneficial for the highest good for everyone. And they are going to be giving me that, or assisting me with that, I should say, assisting me with that. So I'm really happy about that. But let me share something with you. This is crazy. Now I know they're messing around with me on my algorithm and all that stuff, and people, I get like so many people looking at it, and then that's it. And then I get little emails from YouTube talking about, oh, well, you should be able to do something to lift up your ratings on your phone. Yeah, whatever. I don't have time to play games with you. So anyway, I was in this. This is the Gene Key 55. And Gene Key 55 is called The Dragonfly's Dream. And it's 3 parts. It's so intense. It's 3 parts. And it goes over freedom, and victimization. And after it goes through and it talks about the shadow part of the victimization, how we move into it, and then fake freedom. When you look at fake freedom, you think you're free, but you're really not. You're enslaved in the system that keeps you stressed out, keeps you locked into, if you don't do this and this and this and this, you can't have this and this and this and this. So it's always chasing. You're always chasing something. You're always got to stay on top of everything. You always got to go, 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 go to try to keep yourself, of your dream of yourself, going. So it talks about how the healing and clearing, but I like this. It says here, it says fake freedom. And it's talking about the victimization, but there's this one part that I like. In fact, high levels of frequency tear down the very illusion that there is such a thing of spiritual experience. In this new age of culture, the spiritual materialism is rife. That is to say, people now have a brand new drug called the pursuit of truth. The pursuit of truth, looking for truth, looking for the true thing. So I told all of you about when I went to Target the other day, right? Not the other day, last week. And you remember Blueberry, um, Frankenberry, Count Dracula, and now they got the wolf. They put the wolf in there. Remember how when they would be on the front of the box and they had like their normal eyes? Well, when we were looking at the boxes of cereal in Target, their eyes were crossed out. They all on the boxes, their eyes had crosses. They didn't have normal eyes. And I said, why are the eyes crossed? So I started digging into what the meaning of that is, other than representing death or anything in folklore, mythology. But in science, it stands for the X particle. Might want to look that up. The X particle. Why would they have that on their eyes in the first place? What do? I just don't understand this. You know what? I just don't understand the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle of this whole thing. It's just so peculiar, don't you think? So, anyway, as I was reading through this, because once you read Key 55, there's an activation that comes over you, and it just really is so cool. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Whoever, you know what, Richard Root, you did a good job putting this together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, it even talks about the release code of the higher consciousness. It goes into that. Then it talks about the dragonfly. how a dragonfly is created. And it's created through water. And water is the catalyst for a dragonfly to live until it goes into its final burst of getting its wings and everything, and then becoming the dragonfly to be able to fly out in the air. So, water is used to help it become the dragonfly. And I was like, hmm. We got two movies coming up that's going to be talking about water, Avatar and then Wakanda Forever. Okay. So, I really, really liked how it was talking about the water, and also with our water, how it was talking about why there was salt in the water and how the salt in the water is purifying it all the time. But there's been mysterious things going on with our water where there's a lot of circulating whirlwind happening over the water, and it appears like the water is being extracted. But I'm not thinking that's the case now, because I was told many moons, that our water on our planet was going to be revitalized because it's such a hot mess right now. It's going to be revitalized. So I'm just like, okay, it's going to be revitalized. It's going to be healed. Got it. So as I'm reading through, it talks about music of change, how it's going to be the music is not going to have it's going to be certain tones and vibrations of music that's going to be healing to the body, that's not going to have these weird vibration tones in it. It talks about the poetic genetics, and how the words of poetry are going to be healing, and how it's going to be bringing in a higher evolution and receiving through the body through the DNA. It's all about the DNA. Then it talks about the physical changes of our memory, how humanity is actually at a very early stages of transcending our genetics. Because our genetics has been tampered with. So it talks about the emotion and decisions, the stealing of the wave. That was a beautiful one. It talks about our diet, how our diet is going to be, and it's already been happening with me and other people that I know, that you're not really hungry. You eat when you feel hungry, but you're going to be really kind of like eating things that are just enough. That's it. And then you're done. You're not going to be sitting down going breakfast, lunch, dinner. You're not going to be doing that anymore. And then you're going to be feeding off of the energy of the sunlight or energy of water that fulfills you. It's all going to be energetically. It's going to be moving through the body in a different way because we're becoming crystalline. We're not going to be the same old carbon based body anymore. You have to go into a higher frequency. And then it talks about the environment, how our environment is going to be changing, and how we are going to be in sync with all the animals and everything. I love this. Then the ocean salt purification, and it says here, I said the force of fear will be gone. The force of fear, because that's how everything is run down here. You know, fear, 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 fear. Let's give them more of that fear, 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 fear. So they run fear into the ground with us, and we take it all in, rather it be things that we see, rather we're being told 50,000 times through that made up TV zone, the black box TV zone, I call it. Um, Made up stuff. And it's talking about that fear. Fear, 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 fear. And you have to get rid of that fear. You have to be fearless. Go back and watch the movie After Earth. That's a good movie because that movie gives you straight up points of what's happening and how Earth became a planet that was contaminated level one or level something. It was a high level where all the animals were were the dominant ones and saw humans as a threat to the earth and were told to kill the humans, you know, get rid of the humans. They're an issue. And you know what? I don't blame them. We are an issue. We don't know how to take care of things right here. We don't respect each other. We don't take care of each other like we should. And then we mess up this planet. And then we wonder why we run into a doctor talking about, I got cancer. Well, hell, why do you think we got cancer? It's not always genetic. It's what's in our atmosphere. It's what we put into the earth. It's what we put into our waters. It's all the toxicity things that we do to ourselves when we're taking all these meds and doing all that stuff because we're not right with ourselves. That's the problem. That's what's going on. So we're just getting back. We're getting back what we put out there, what we saw. That's all there is to that. So then it talks about government and poverty and money. It talks about the whole thing, how it is laid out and what's coming. I could not believe when I was reading it. It takes like a couple of days to read that section. You can read it all in a whole day, but you're integrating the frequency of it in the information because it's talking to your DNA when you're reading it. Love it. Gene Key. And then it goes into, talks about death, medicine, supernova. Then it talks about children and education, that the ones that are coming in, they're here to teach us. They're not here to learn this broken down program of these old ways of teaching anymore. Still teaching from books that you and I went to school on. They're still trying to pass these same old stories along that are not true. So it talks about how that's changing, and it's going to be creating a once the mind is transcended, true genius emerges. Then I like the part, I missed this one part what I was looking at. Where is it? Marriage of the sacred couple. This one, it gets into the relationships on this planet and how it is all about not being in relationships for sex and procreational type of things. You're not coming in for that. You're coming in for the highest form of love and holding that containment of love vibration because you are going to be like beacons of love to help with others holding love space, creating from that space. And I was just like, wow, that is so cool. Let me see if I can find that one place. The situation caused because of human tendency to blame. It becomes, oh, here, I wrote it up here. Um, as we touch upon previously, the coming shift will precipitate the end of the age of individual I and the beginning of the age of the collective we. It's going to be all about this I. It's going to be a we thing. Because the collectiveness, when we are vibrating at that higher frequency, on that fifth dimension, up on those higher frequencies, your it's a collective thing. It's not a me thing or an I thing. It's all about the us thing, the we thing. So I really, really love this. And after, it was so funny after oh, let me see if I can read this. Hold on. Okay, here. When the first relationship experienced dual enlightenment, we will know that the deepest wound of all has finally been healed. The wound symbolized by the division and the fall of Adam and Eve. These sacred marriages will have an unbelievable energy field around them. In fact, they will be at the core of the whole new communities. So they're automatically, because of the intensity of the love for self and the love of unity, and with the unity, they're going to have this like beautiful orb of light around them. That's going to make it known that they are the sacred unity people. So, yeah. And then after you read it, when I got this book, I only saw just this and his name. I did not see the tiny dragonfly right there. I only saw his name, but I didn't see the dragonfly until after I read that chapter. When I read it, then I turned it around and then I saw the dragonfly. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So the story about the dragonfly, how the water is the catalyst for him, for it to turn into the dragonfly. So I was just like, good. This book is no joke. It's a very good book. And it puts in a lot of things into perspective. You know, being on this planet, being who we are, stepping into our divineness of our soul journeys and what we're here to do. And, you know, there's so much going on, and you're trying to stay focused in it, and you're trying to stay in your space, and you're trying to, stay in your higher frequency. And unfortunately, some of it will cause people to feel isolated, or will cause people to feel um like nobody's caring. Everybody's caring, but everybody is on different timelines doing their work, and that's what's required right now. So just know that. And when the dreams get crazy, just know you are the controller in your dream. And these dreams, don't forget, they can send out different wave energies of experiences that you might be experiencing. And then you might have been experiencing another you on a different timeline. Okay, don't knock that out either. Because like I said she's after me, she's chasing me. And I had to keep jumping through different timelines. And finally, I got into a portal and I left. But man, I've been tired today. I'm like, damn, I'm going to bed early. So I just wanted to hop on here and share this info. And I want to thank all of you for being supportive of my channel and listening to the truth when I speak my truth, and being open and seeing when things are being spoken from a higher me, saying it the way it is. And a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people, don't like to hear truth. And that's because they still have a lot of healing to do on themselves. They got to stop doing the blame game. And I know that hurts sometimes. Yeah, I know. Anyway, on that note, thank you so much for joining me here on Be So Light, where we come together and we become Be So Light. That's a wrap for this. And that's a 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.